I discovered that my heritage is Roma. And when I discovered that, all of the things that I had questions about in my past, it made everything make sense. Because, you know, there's always things in your past that you kind of wonder about. But when I found that out, and especially with regard to my mother, who is Roma then, or part Roma, that's part of our heritage, then all of those things made sense. And she was so happy to find this out. So that brought us closer together. So it really was a healing moment for me and my mother, which I'm very grateful for. And then with my interest in music, in improvised music, let's put it that way, it then made me realize that the music part of my life has a much deeper meaning. And then looking at my grandmother, realizing then how important she was to me in my musical development, even though she didn't see me very often. I was in Canada and she was in Sweden. And she gave me my very first musical instrument, which was an accordion, and I loved the accordion. I loved the accordion. It makes so much sound, you know, big chords. It was so much fun to play. But then my interest in improvised music led me down the path of finding out more about racism through that study of jazz music. And it's quite similar, the things that people are dealing with, I think. The music was a way for Black people, before they had their civil rights, before they had the right to vote, music was one of the most lucrative ways for them to make a living, right? In entertainment, and it often still is. You know, so to make a living as a musician that was good. You know, you could make more money that way. Many of them had doors closed to them, such as you know, there were some famous musicians of the early 20th century, like Fletcher Henderson, that name you might recognize. He was trained as a chemist. He had a university degree, but he could not get hired by any university because he was Black. So he started a band, and it became a famous band, and he made a good living. And some of the most famous jazz musicians of the 1920s played in his band, such as Louis Armstrong and Coleman Hawkins. Those are famous names, and they played in his band. So the racism stopped him from being able to pursue an academic career, but in the entertainment world, he was able to succeed. And I can see that it's similar for Roma people in Europe, especially, where there is still segregation and a lot of illiteracy and a lot of systemic racism against the Roma people. So I see that there's a lot of very prominent musicians in the Roma community. And all of these issues that people have, but they're based on fear. The only way to combat it is to encourage people, musicians who have such a big following, you know, such as these big artists, to come out and say, I'm Roma and I'm proud. What's not to be proud? I'm proud.
Thank you.